All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to end of August Entropia ANS Investments video. You guys might be wondering where I've been, but homeschooling and stuff has and everything else that's going on. It's made life a little bit more difficult for me to stream, but does not stop the business. We are go. All right. So what's happened this month? MindArc has started to approach people like me differently. So, still at a half decent turnover, not as much as the month before. The month before was 60,000, this was 42,000. Our profit was a little bit lower, but we still made what we needed to make. And this is the reason why we done 15% a year interest, because this was a pretty horrible month. Even though you look at this list and I sold a lot of stuff, but don't get me wrong, I'm on top of this sale thing. Every time something sells, I'm back on there with a new product. And but some interesting stuff's been happening in the game. MindHuck has reduced the amount of blueprints that are dropping, and I'm not just talking about AMP blueprints. Now there hasn't been LAMP 33s or blueprints on the auction house for a week. Now I'm usually a large producer of LAMP 33s. I've got to say that I produce a lot of what gets sold on the auction house. I've gone above and beyond to try to craft gizmos to get LAMP 33 blueprints, even other attachments, and to no avail. They just don't drop, and no one's putting any for sale in the auction house, and there's none for sale. So they're dropping the ball here on LAMP 33s. This is just an example of what's going on. My usual sales of explosive projectile recycle blueprints, which usually contributes a large amount to our income, has dropped right off. To date, for 3 weeks, MindArc has not given me an explosive projectile blueprint at all in any of my crafting. So, don't know what's going on there. It was so good for so many months. Now they've backed it off. So, whether they've taken aside and go, no, this guy's doing too well, let's knock him back, let's give him nothing, I don't know. But it doesn't stop with those blueprint drops. They have got, like I said at the end of last month, they've had their foot on my throat for ages. And this month was probably 30% worse than last month. We still managed to pull through with a profit. They are trying to beat us down, and we will not let that happen, because you know what we do? We change our strategy. So one thing I did have a lot of was some LAMP 28 blueprints, so I'm sticking to those. People that can't get LAMP 33 blueprints are buying LAMP 28s. So we're still in the game. I've got lots of those blueprints, and I've got lots of materials for those. They're making it harder for me to get stuff like super alloy mountings. I'll go out and do mining, not get as much gas and grease as I used to get. So look, across the board, I can probably comfortably say that they've sat down and go, right, let's back everything off 25%. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a 25% back off. And look, it doesn't stop us making cash, man. They got to pretty much close the game for us to stop making money. And look at what I just sold. I just sold 2 stacks of Listerium for 105%, 0.71. That's dirt. That's selling dirt ice to Eskimos. So people are still paying good for Listerium, which means, you know what, we're still in the game. We're never out of the game. We are like this resilient force that they can't never get rid of. And you talk to some people, not only are we achieving free play here, we're achieving free play with payouts. It's a pretty big deal. And a lot of people just like to achieve free play. We're achieving free play for months on end now with payouts to other people. So, I reckon it's a good thing. I'm still proud of that. I just wish MindUp would treat people like me with a little bit more respect. And apart from the sales that we've made and that, let's go back to the crafting. Look, the mining's dropped. We're down to 93.88% in the mining. That sat at 94% for a couple of months, and then they just decided to say, fuck you. We're giving you not as much as we were giving you. So that has... Now it doesn't seem like a much dropping 0.5%, but when you drop 0.5% over 700,000 ped, it's a lot of money. And it's money we can't... I hope that they go, rightio, we've dropped it back this month. Next month, we're going to give it back up to where it was. We don't know. We still don't know whether that happens. We do know, though, that they hover around this area. So I'm not too concerned about the mining. And we still do quite well out of the mining because of my little tricks here and there. You know, you got to have tricks up your sleeve in this game or you don't get anywhere. So look, mining 93.88%. We've cycled nearly 700,000 pet. You know, it's a good amount of money. Let's go to the summary page. We are now at 2,072,997 ped cycled since we started this investment. Now, I'm not going to say anything's really changed in the percentage return market. I did get a nice Hoff and LM28s today, which brought that back up to 96% because it's an item. 40,000 peds cycled. Stuff like hard metal mountings, 91,000 peds cycled, 86%. These are my problem areas. Conductors 1 at 2. We finally hit 50,000 ped in conductors 2. We are still sitting at 86.16% return on a blueprint that I craft pretty much full quantity every time and have the skills. Level 46 electronics engineer. No reason for that to be that low. So watch this space on the conductor market because they owe us a bit of money in them two fronts there. And look, it's only going to take them a small Hoff to get them back up to 90-something%. But we'll see how that goes. This is a 2-year experiment. And I'm banking by the end of this year, we'll probably reach roughly, judging by the way we're going, we'll probably reach around about 2,250,000-ish. And, you know, we are at 91.81% return. Now, some people might turn around and say that's okay. Well, it's not okay. It's not okay. Because the way I see it, at the end of the day, Mindark's charging us $10,000 USD a year to play this game and make them money. And that's bullshit. That's like having a job and paying someone to be employed. That is not right. But I gotta relax about that because we're in a real good position for an ATH, and let's look at it that way. And it doesn't matter because we're winning. We're winning. We can do this for eternity as long as the game's open. Because as long as people keep buying stuff, we're gonna still succeed in this game. These are just like areas I like to point out and of interest. And go, look at this, guys. Look at this, guys, you know. Yeah, look at all the item crafts. LR40, 96.8%. LR45, 94.6%. LR35, no money spent in that. And then you go down to the LAMP crafting, 95.58%. You know, it's an item. Anything that's an item, basically, is a good return. Components, they make you pay. So they're using component prices and deficits to push markup up, but it's not working. You're never going to push simple 1 conductors and simple 2 conductors high enough to cover a 15% loss. Ever. It doesn't matter if this game gets a 5 million person player base. Simple 1 and 2 conductors are never going to cover 15% loss in their craft. Because you got to remember, you don't get 86% return of conductors. You get 86% return of some conductors and some other shit that's never going to sell for that money. So just pointing that out as a matter of interest. But look, overall we're in a good position. As normal, come on the 5th, after the 5th, or on the 5th, come and collect your payout. I have the payout sitting in my pet card right now. I am going to go mining right about now though. So unless you really need the money, wait till the 5th. That'd be good. And yeah. A lot of you guys are rolling, which is okay. Some of you guys have asked about extra investment. I get asked a fair bit about extra investment. I even have people that aren't investors yet wanting to come on board. I've had to say no, and I'm going to keep saying no because at the end of the day, guys, I actually would be happy to explode this investment up after Unreal Engine 5 releases and after we find out how the game's going to continue after that game engine release. So look, I'm saying we're not going to up the investment at Christmas. We're going to up the investment after the engine release. We need to see where the game's going to go after that, you know. So we keep cruising along as we are now, making money for everybody, you know. And after the engine's released, we'll see what things they change for the better or for the worse. See if we can work with it and I guess run with it for a few months to make sure everything's smooth. And then, bang, we keep going headlong, because once they upgrade to the new engine and they possibly start implementing NFTs or some crypto type situation into the game, which I have no doubt is going to happen, the game will change. So we need to adapt with the game. So I guess once the game changes and adapts, they've also backed off a lot of blueprint drops too. They're up to something sneaky, these guys. They're going to change the game. I'm just saying there's an evolution happening, and it always has with Mind Arc and Entropia. And we just got to keep on top of the wave with our surfboard, basically. And not go, oh, the game should be how it used to be, and oh, Loot 2.0 is stupid. You don't ever say anything like that. You sit back, you watch how the game evolves, and you adapt like a fucking chameleon. There's no point whinging and complaining about the game changing. Oh, shit, oh, I'm going to leave next week. Who cares? Go. Fuck off. No one cares if you don't want to play anymore. We're here to stay. We're here to adapt, and we're here to invest. That's our job. Fuck everybody else that has different opinions and stuff. But at the moment, we're winning, guys, and I'm really happy. Again, thank you all for participating in this investment. It's opened my eyes so much to the way this game operates. Enjoy the ride. We could go like this forever as long as the game goes, so we're in a good spot. I'm going to pull up the video there. I think I've rambled on enough. You guys know what's going on by now. It's been almost 2 years now. We've got a 2-year anniversary coming up around Christmas time. Might have a bit of a, sit back and a reflect on the 2 years. And of course, at the end of this 2-year period, I'll be making my video to Mind Arc, blatantly pointing out some of the things that I'm not happy with. And paying them 10 grand a year to be an employee is going to be on the top of the list. But, they could give us an ATH in between here and there. And now, look, guys, with the ATH, we got to understand that once they do give us that ATH, and it brings us obviously up closer to our 97% return, we got to understand they're going to punish us after that ATH. Now, look what happened after that guy got that 560,000 shrapnel craft. The game has been just sucking the population, and you can hear people whinging in the chat and everything about it. I'm experiencing it myself. The game has definitely doubled down on their foot stomping. So they're definitely, look, my opinion on that HOF, good on the guy that got it. Bullshit that we should all have to pay for it. That should have came out of his accumulated account like what we've got here, or some other loot pool. We shouldn't have to pay for that prize. That's just, I don't agree with it at all. And whether that's what's happening or not, all I know is he got that prize. We started suffering financially. That's all I know. The proof is right here in my spreadsheets. And if that's not the case, well, you've made it look like that's the case. So it's all good to be secretive and stuff and run a business under a little bit of a cloak and dagger situation. But there's a fine line between letting people know they're getting ripped off or letting people know that, no, everything's operating as normal. No, you didn't pay for that ATH. You know what I'm saying? They don't quite have that business side of it down. And not looking after the game they do and going, look, we're not going to look after this current build. We're doing a new engine. Fair enough. I understand that. But before you done this new engine, you let the game go for 10 years without barely touching it and invested in all this other crap. That's the issue I've got. Don't worry about the other shit in the world. Invest in this. This is the best investment you have. So hopefully one day my message gets through to them and they hear me. And my end of year video, I'll be expressing these interests as well. Whether they watch it or not, it's another thing. But anyway, I'm out. I might actually stream today. I've got a mining run to do. Business has to go. Got some items that need to be crafted. So I'll see you guys at the end of next month. Good on yous. Good on us. And have a good one.